In the middle of December 2021, my husband James and I went on a vacation with a couple of our friends to Breathless Resort in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. We had a blast at Breathless, but this video will be more about our experience with the COVID testing at the resort.
For those of you who are new to the channel, we make travel videos for couples and families. Currently, we have one other video about Breathless Resort.
I'm expecting a heck of a time because I like to party.
But while we were putting it together, we thought, hey, it would have been really nice to know all the details about COVID testing before our trip. So we decided to make this. You're required to have a negative COVID test within 24 hours of entering the US.
This means that a negative test result has to lie within 24 hours of your flight departure.
On your last full day at Breathless, you'll have to go and get a COVID swab done. Breathless Resort provides this service for free for Exhale guests and those staying a minimum of 3 days.
When we booked our room, it said the testing was included in the price.
We got to Breathless on day 1 and were given a receipt for our COVID test stating it had been paid for.
If you know that your test was included in your booking, make sure that you get this receipt when you get your room info. We didn't, and we had to go back down later and ask about it.
We almost didn't get our COVID receipt in the beginning, and we needed that to say that we had a free COVID test. If not, we would have had to pay out of pocket for our COVID test.
If you didn't have this receipt or pay up front, the COVID test we heard cost around $35 a person.
We need to go down still and get it's all signed up to what are we doing? Departure and COVID testing, because that's very important. We need to have those just to get back into the United States, or they keep us here. I don't want to stay here. I guess when you stay here though, if you fail your COVID test and you have to stay here, they have like a special area that they quarantine you at, and you don't get any of the amenities that you were used to during your regular stay, like all the free drinks and stuff. I think they just like, you have room service brings you food, and then that's pretty much it. I mean, you probably have like Wi-Fi or something, right? But for the most part, for 2 weeks or 10 days, however long, is it 14 days? 14 days you'd be stuck up in this certain little wing section. I wonder, we need to find the COVID wing section. Maybe we'll do a little tour of the COVID wing. That was a joke, we're not gonna do that. It'd be funny though to point it out. Like, hey, look, there's a COVID wing.
Yeah, the lady said, you don't want to stay. It's not nice, is what she said.
I'd be jumping off the balcony.
Oh man.
Jump off the balcony.
When we were walking
Like a
around
prison
the other
break.
day, I'm like, so do you think this is a COVID wing? Do you think this one's a COVID wing?
Maybe we should go and break some of them free. Maybe we should sneak them drinks. I would want somebody to do that for me.
The next thing that you have to do is schedule your COVID appointment. I would probably get this done on day 1 or day 2 so you don't forget. You will want to bring that receipt and your passport with you.
The COVID testing area is in the back corner of the main building.
When you walk in the main building, you will turn to your right, and it's back by the theater in the main lobby.
You should see signs for COVID testing. You'll then wait your turn to be seen if there are people in front of you. There are some chairs, and the room was quite warm while we were there, so I would suggest going earlier in the day to avoid long lines, because we didn't and had to wait like 45 minutes or so.
Some people were waiting there a little bit longer, so just expect that.
I'm currently sitting here waiting to get an appointment for a COVID swab. It's hot.
Get yourself a drink at the bar or something before you go wait. Just be prepared for that little inconvenience.
Once we got seen, we gave them our receipt and the passports, and you fill out some more information. You will also be providing them with an email address where they will send you your results. So make sure that you give them a working email that you have access to while you're on vacation.
They make copies of all that info, they put it into their computer, and they send you on your way.
Doing all this stuff has been pretty easy. They set it up and they made it really easy for us. If you're scheduling excursions, like that basically wipes out the day before we leave. If we wanted to do an excursion, we couldn't do an excursion that day because we have to be here to get our COVID test done. We have to plan our excursions accordingly to those schedules. So that's something to think about.
At the day of your testing, you show back up to that same location at your appointment time and get your COVID test.
In a few hours, we gotta go get COVID swabbed and find out whether or not we get to go home. I hope I don't have it, that would suck. You don't think that maybe
taking a COVID test with a buzz will do anything to the results, do you? I'm not gonna fail it just because I've been drinking, right? That's not gonna do anything to it, right? Think I can have a couple drinks and then take a COVID test? It's not gonna affect the outcome, because I don't wanna fail it. Oh crap, I might have it. Man, I'm really thinking about getting in that hot tub though. About to get in that jacuzzi tub.
How'd your COVID swab go?
Okay. They weren't very friendly. Coming from a nurse, I can get that judgment, right?
She shoved it pretty far in your nose?
Probably about that far. She went up my canal, which is something we don't do anymore. Like, I haven't done that on very
For a rapid test.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was alright.
Oh, the allergy.
It's weird when somebody
Nope, I
else
don't wanna
sticks it
touch
in your nose.
I know. That's how I
can do that
feel
all
about
day,
it.
but as soon as they touch me,
Exactly.
Give it here. I'll do it my damn self.
The tests were quick and professional. We were in and out.
Then we just had to wait for the results.
Got the old COVID test done just now. That was my first time ever getting the big swab, the one right up, the deep one. I've gotten a little quick, fast one around the nostrils real quick, but not the deep one. Wasn't too bad. She's pretty good at. You can tell she's done a lot of them. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
It was terrible.
But it makes your eyes water, that's for sure. Because they go deep. Just have a couple drinks before you do it, maybe. No, I didn't. I said I was going to, but I didn't want to fail the test. Never know, I might fail the test. I hope I don't have it. I don't think I have it. Nah.
I just got COVID tested. They tickled my brain. Made me cry a little bit. I survived. James is playing hard ass. He was definitely tearing up.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No. I did a COVID test on him one time and just literally did the nares, and he tells everybody that it was the worst experience of his life.
No, that's not. That was the first time you did. The second.
Get
time
out of here.
The first time you did it was terrible because I was sleeping.
The process was very quick. Very quick. In and out. Nurses weren't smiley, but they were in gowns, gloves, hairnets, everything. It's hotter than shit back there. And those poor nurses were like sitting there all gowned up.
You don't think that I could possibly fail the test because I'm drunk when I take it?
James, they swabbed your nose. Has nothing to do with your alcohol content.
I just want to go back into the United States.
Me too, I miss my kids.
We got our results back within a few hours and we were good to go.
Well, me and Brandy just got the results of our COVID test, and looks like we're going home tomorrow. Gonna miss this place.
On your day of departure, you will need that email with your test results, so keep that in your phone or get it printed out before you leave the resort.
We just left ours on our phone and took a screenshot of it just for backup.
When you get to the airport, you will be directed to the departure kiosks.
We arrived at the Punta Cana International Airport, and a gentleman helped us get into the airport, helped us check in, get our boarding passes, and then checked our passports and our negative COVID screen.
There should be an attendant there from the airlines that will take all of your documentation, look it over, put all the information into the kiosk. This includes the email that I told you to save. They check it off in the kiosk and you are on your way. Overall, the whole thing was a pretty smooth experience, but we know sometimes going to a foreign country, things can get miscommunicated.
This information could be irrelevant at any given time, but for those that are going to Breathless soon, you're welcome. Besides, we needed to release a quick video because we got another adventure to record.
Did I mention that we make travel videos?
Go check them out.
Hit the like, subscribe, and all that. We hope to see you again in some future Breathless videos.